beat up 80-year-old lady, and then beat up her son, and then burned him to death. And then after he had been found guilty and sentenced to life in prison, had the gall to say that, well, the only reason I didn't get a fair trial is because the Confederate flag were out there. The reason he didn't get the reason that he got sent to jail for life is because he did all of that. And I know because it's a member of my family. So he did that. That's why he went to jail. Had nothing to do with the Confederate flag. It was the insanity of an attorney to even want to utter those words to a judge, but he did. So to believe that it improves justice, I don't really think that's a correct statement. And change for the sake of change is not always good. Mr. Epperson just gave us a great example. St. Louis, they're picking up what we already have here in Shreveport that works and moving it to St. Louis, just for the sake of change. I know there's a lot of politics involved in that, but we also have had individual who made it his political motto that hope and change, and that really hasn't worked out too well either. But having said all of that, I think that there is another location that is probably more appropriate for that flag, since it represents the veterans who died. And there were 600,000 people who died in that war. And that might be in the Confederate section of the Greenwood Cemetery. That, to me, would be a more appropriate place to put that flagpole and flag. And I would hope that our administration and that the commission would agree that if it passes to take it down, which I believe that it will, that we will assist whoever in having that moved to another location. And I hope that we will also give them an appropriate amount of time to take their flag down, because the flag does belong to them, it doesn't belong to us, and not run over there and cut the lock on it and pull it down the first day. So I think I'd like to see us give them an appropriate amount of time so they can respectfully take it down and assist them to move it to another location. And it's in that spirit that I will support the motion that's on the floor. But I didn't want to, at first I wasn't going to say anything, but I don't want for anyone to believe for 1 second that what I said earlier here, some of the reasons that I heard, I don't see them as being legitimate. I think that it's strictly a historical, to me it's a historical monument, and the flag is historical, and I think the Greenwood Cemetery or something similar would be an appropriate location for it. That's all.
We have Ms. Bowman.
I would hope that 4 o'clock tomorrow is an appropriate time to have it moved, and it is my hope that administration will contact whoever they need to contact and let them know of the commission's decision here today. We might not agree on a lot of things up here, and I don't necessarily come here to be disagreeable. I understand everybody's position, and trust me, in my humble opinion, I went to qualify, as did so many other commissioners here over at the courthouse, and we walked past that flag. And in my opinion, it does not represent what I believe. And in addition to that, all 12 of our pictures hang on the wall in the courthouse. And to an extent, it says to me that indirectly I support what's there, and I don't support it. 50 years is long enough, and I believe it's time for us to move on. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, my fellow commissioners.
I see no further requests for discussion. At this time, we vote on the motion. That motion passes. At this time, I'd like to recognize Mr.